The automobile has been around for over 130 years, and since its inception, we've seen a steady stream of technological improvements and new features being introduced every year. Hey, I'm Creech, this is Creech and Cars, and today I'll be showing you 10 new car features and technologies to look out for in the future. Some of these features are already present on higher end cars, and you can expect them to trickle down to cheaper cars in the future, and some of them aren't being used yet, but once technology progresses, you can expect to start seeing them. Let's get right into it. The first feature is solar panels used on the exterior of cars. This is pretty straightforward. A solar panel is used in place of or just on top of a body panel on the car, and typically the roof is a good spot for one. Then as the car sits in the sun, the solar panel can generate some electricity to power the car's electronics, and for EVs, it can recharge the car's battery. I have mentioned this feature when talking about Fisker's upcoming models, and they seem to be the closest to implementing this. One major issue is getting a good amount of density of the photovoltaic cells to provide any significant amount of energy to the car. However, Fisker claims with its solar roof, the car can get up to 2,000 miles of range per year from the solar panel alone. The next feature is augmented reality. Augmented reality combines digital displays with the real world. The display can include vehicle information like speed, range, mileage, as well as media information and navigation directions. Heads-up displays are becoming pretty common these days, but in the future you can look for the displays to become better integrated and show more information. The main application would be on the windshield to give the driver more information without having to look away from the road, but AR could also be expanded to give passengers information about where the vehicle is on a journey or what song is playing, things like that. BMW has a pretty good augmented reality system in its higher end models, and that can give you a glimpse of the future, although the displays that are actually on the windshield tend to be pretty small and don't give the driver a whole lot of information. Next, we have vehicle-to-vehicle communication. This is also just shortened to V2V communication, and at a basic level, this is a technology that allows different vehicles to communicate with one another while they're on the road. A vehicle can let other vehicles around it know its speed, direction, location, and other information. This is a huge safety feature, and the NHTSA estimates that it could prevent about 10% of crashes. V2V technology could even be applied to bicycle and pedestrian traffic to help prevent accidents between them and vehicles as well. The DOT in the US is pushing V2V communication heavily and trying to get automakers to implement it as fast as possible, and many automakers have V2V systems, but GM and Daimler appear to be at the front of the pack with this technology. The fourth feature is driver recognition and personalized driver profile. This is a feature where each driver of the vehicle could set up a profile that contains that driver's preferences, things like drive mode, climate control settings, seat position, and more. When a driver gets in the car, the vehicle is able to recognize that driver and automatically set the car to that driver's preferred setting. This is really useful for family vehicles where there are two or more people who regularly drive the car, and normally you would have to go through the settings and change everything after someone else has been driving the car. A lot of brands like BMW and Genesis, for example, have driver profiles already, and what's really going to change in the future is how many settings are contained within the profile and how the car recognizes each driver. And speaking of recognizing drivers, the next feature is biometric integration. This means that the car recognizes parts of the body, such as your fingerprints or face, and this means you can just use your body as a key and to tell the car who is driving. So say there is a fingerprint scanner on the door handle, you can just use your fingerprint to lock and unlock the car, and when you get in, the car recognizes your specific fingerprint and adjusts the car's settings to the ones you prefer. The sixth feature that you can expect to see in the future is smart sun visors. The sun visor is one thing that really hasn't changed that much over the years. It's just a solid piece that does block the sun, but also blocks your view of the road. In the future, we could see sun visors that are clear screens, but track the sun and only block out the smallest portion necessary. Furthermore, this could be fully integrated into the windshield so that there is no sun visor at all, and the windshield is able to detect the sun and block it out. Next up is adaptive headlights. This can refer to a number of different conditions that the headlights can adapt to. The first is directional changes. A lot of luxury cars already have this feature where the lights will turn in the direction the vehicle is turning to provide better visibility at night, especially around curvy, windy, dark roads. Adaptive headlights could also improve in the future by adapting to lighting and weather conditions outside. This would improve visibility when it's raining or snowing and just make operating the vehicle safer and easier overall. The eighth feature is one you're probably familiar with, and that is 360-degree cameras. This is another feature that's already present in a lot of luxury cars, And it's where there are cameras all the way around the exterior of the car that give the driver a clear view of everything. As with backup cameras, you can expect this feature to trickle down to cheaper cars in the future, to the point where one day it will likely be standard on all cars and maybe even mandatory, as is now the case with backup cameras. This feature, like a lot of the other ones, aims to increase safety by allowing the driver to see smaller objects and navigate through tight spaces more easily. Next is driver and passenger health monitoring features. This feature is a system that would monitor the driver's health and be able to determine if the driver is drowsy or distracted in a way that would make operation of the vehicle unsafe. There is an attention monitoring aspect of this that works by having sensors read the driver's face to establish a baseline of what attentive driving looks like for that driver, and then alerting the driver when something seems off, such as the eyes closing or head tilting at an odd angle. Another part of this system that would focus more on the health of the driver and potentially the passengers as well would measure things like pulse and posture to make sure that the driver is in proper condition to drive the car, and also just see if the passengers are having any health issues. And finally, this list wouldn't be complete without mentioning increasing capabilities of self-driving cars. Typically, there are considered to be 5 levels of autonomous driving. Level 1 involves the car being able to handle one task on its own, such as cruise control or automatic braking. Level 2 involves the car being able to handle 2 tasks at a time, such as on a highway, a lot of cars now can maintain a speed and also make a lane change. Level 3 would be where the car can handle most driving tasks, but still requires human intervention in some situations. Level 4 is where the car can usually be operated without a driver, but it would still have a steering wheel and pedals for the few situations that the car cannot handle. And finally, Level 5 is where the vehicle is able to handle all driving tasks completely on its own and never needs a driver. In the future, we can expect higher-end cars to be the first to unlock increasing levels of capability, and then the cheaper cars will follow behind them. So there are 10 car features that you can expect to become common in the future. What feature are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, here to discuss car news, culture, and history. So if you're interested in that type of content, check out the other videos on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.